wisdom walk out the door. The team is gathering around the screen. The best offboarding you've ever seen. John is leaving, retiring to date. But thanks to Sensay, his skills are gonna stay. We capture the workflows, the tips and the tricks. No more lost files for us to fake. Knowledge transfer, rock. Capture the wisdom around the clock. Voice to voice, just chat away. Preserve the genius with Sensay. It's the smart way, the new way to say what we know. That's the Sensay. Knowledge right. New hire Sally is starting at 1. She needs to know how the project is done. She doesn't need shadowing, wasting her time. She asks the chatbot and feels just fine. From day number 1, she is up to speed. A digital mentor is all that she needs. Knowledge transfer, rock. Capture the wisdom around the clock. Voice to voice, just chat away. Preserve the genius with Sensay. It's the smart way, the new way to say what we know. That's the Sensay. Knowledge right. Stop losing billions, stop the drain. Don't let the exit cause you pain. For $500, you keep it all. So take the halls and make the call. Yeah. Capture the past for the future to see. That's the Sensay guarantee. Knowledge transfer, rock. Capture the wisdom around the clock. Voice to voice, just chat away. Preserve the genius with Sensay. It's the smart way, the new way to say what we know. That's the Sensay.
What an absolute banger of a song. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you are. I'm Dan Thompson, the founder and CEO here at Sensay, and welcome to the Christmas Sensay Showcase. Thank you all for spending an hour with us today as we wrap up the year, celebrate the progress that we've made, and share something very special that the team has been building until over the last year. This year has been a powerful reminder of why Sensay exists. Across every industry we work with, companies are sorry, it's got a bit distracted. Across every industry we work with, companies are dealing with the same challenge. When great people leave, the knowledge that makes them great leaves with them. It affects productivity, continuity, training, and even culture. We've seen it ourselves. A key team member leaves, and suddenly we realize that so much of what they know was never written down. So today is all about solving that problem in a simple, smart, and scalable way. Over the next hour, we're going to walk you through a completely different offboarding journey inside of Sensay. You'll see how knowledge is captured, how it becomes a living resource for teams, and how our platform is designed to make this process effortless for companies of every size. We want this session to feel festive and relaxed, but also meaningful, because what we're showing you today represents the direction Sensay is heading in for 2026 and beyond. Keep your eyes peeled. At some point, we'll be announcing how to participate in today's airdrop and our Christmas prize draw, so keep an eye out for that. Let's dive right in. To understand why this product exists, you need to look at what really happens inside companies when someone leaves. Yeah, I myself have got a friend who's just about to leave quite a large bank. Right now, every organization in the world is struggling with the same issue. Exit interviews are rushed, handover documents are incomplete, managers simply do not have the time or the expertise to extract decades of experience from a person in their final week. And most of their knowledge we rely on each day is not written down anywhere. It lives in the conversations, the habits, and small decisions that only the expert understands. This result is hugely costly to companies and organizations. Studies show that companies lose billions every single year simply because knowledge was never captured. It takes 6 to 12 months for a replacement to reach full productivity. Teams slow down, mistakes increase, projects stall, and in many industries, the senior people are retiring faster than companies can replace them. This is the heart of the offboarding problem. It's not just about losing a person, it's about losing the memory of how things are done. And once that memory is gone, it does not come back. The good news is this is exactly what Sensay steps in. Our mission is to capture, preserve, and share the knowledge that would otherwise disappear. The demo today will show how we turn a departing employee into a living knowledge base that continues to support the team long after they've left. This is the beginning of the offboarding journey, and now we'll show you how it actually works with 3 back-to-back demos.
When someone leaves your company, a lot of what they know just disappears. All those processes, client relationships, the little tricks that made them great at their job, just gone. And we've built Sensay to fix that. Let me show you how it works. So imagine you're a manager and Maya from your customer success team is transitioning out. Here's what you do. You open up Sensay, you log in, and you arrive at your dashboard. You then click Create Interview, enter in the name of the employee who's leaving, their email address, their job title, and job description. You can then add custom instructions of things you want to cover in the interview. Now, review the details provided and create interview. Our AI then takes all of this information and generates the interview. It creates the sections, topics, and questions. Once the interview has been created, you can open it and review what it contains. Each interview is composed of different sections with topics and questions. You can edit or delete each of these and add new questions, topics, and sections. Once you are happy with the interview, you can save it . When someone leaves your company, a lot of what they know just disappears. All those processes, client relationships, the little tricks that made them great at their job, just gone. And we've built Sensay to fix that. Let me show you how it works. So imagine you're a manager and Maya from your customer success team is transitioning out. Here's what you do. You open up Sensay, you log in, and you arrive at your dashboard. You then click Create Interview, enter in the name of the employee who's leaving, their email address, their job title, and job description. You can then add custom instructions of things you want to cover in the interview. Now, review the details provided and create interview. Our AI then takes all of this information and generates the interview. It creates the sections, topics, and questions. Once the interview has been created, you can open it and review what it contains. Each interview is composed of different sections with topics and questions. You can edit or delete each of these and add new questions, topics, and sections. Once you are happy with the interview, you can save it Maya then receives an email from Sensay inviting her to participate in the interview. She opens the email and clicks Start. She is then greeted by Sophia, who walks her through the process. There are no time limits to the interview, and it can be completed over multiple sessions. The interview can be conducted via text or voice, and employees can add files, documents, and other assets. Employees then review the information, check it's correct, and when they're ready, they can click Start.
Hi, what does a typical day or week look like for you in terms of how you spend your time?
Sophia then interviews Maya, asking her detailed questions about her job.
Oh, so mornings are usually Slack and email catch up, which probably takes longer than it should, maybe 30 to 45 minutes. Then I do that daily at-risk account review, about 20 minutes in Metabase, just scanning for red flags.
That's really helpful context. I can see how the reactive nature keeps you bouncing between strategic work and immediate firefighting. Building on that, I'd like to dig deeper into the knowledge piece. What tasks or responsibilities do you handle that no one else on the team currently does?
Over the course of the interview, Sophia will seek to understand the ins and outs of the employee's job. When the employee has had enough for today, they can then click End Session. They can come back to the interview at any point and complete it. The Sensay admin dashboard helps you to easily track and manage interviews, so you can have full visibility of how people are progressing with the offboarding. You can check to see which questions they have answered, and once the interview is finished, you will be able to check each individual's response and see a summary of all the knowledge that has been collected. You can also invite other people from your company to access the knowledge base. Each knowledge base has a custom interface for talking with it, where you can ask it questions and find out key information. The bot then retrieves information from the knowledge base and answers.
Hello, everybody. I think Dan is having technical issues, so I'm gonna take that over. So what you just seen is the feature for the employees to capture the knowledge, and for the to contribute the knowledge, and then the AI biographer it captures the nuances of the knowledge, and then everything feeds into the dynamic knowledge base. So thank you for watching this part of the journey. What you see in Sensay and with Sophia is the heart of our offboarding process. It is where the departing employee shares everything they know in a structured and natural way. The system guides them with smart questions, captures their documents, and dig into the tacit knowledge that is almost impossible to document manually. This is the knowledge that usually disappears on the final day, and today you saw how Sensay captures it with ease. The important thing is to understand that this experience is designed for real people in real companies. It does not require training. It does not require technical skills. It simply asks the right questions, listens carefully, and builds a picture of how the expert thinks and works. Once this is done, Sensay turns all of this into a living knowledge base that the rest of the team can access instantly. Now, we want to show you what happens behind the scenes, how the company sets things up, how knowledge is organized, how teams deploy to Slack and Teams, and how everything stays up to date as the organization evolves. To walk you through this, please, let's start my next segment. Thank you, Dan, and thanks for the demos. Happy holiday to everyone. I'm Marco, CTO and co-founder at Sensay. Let me share with you what we've been building. Every day, tens of thousands of employees retire in US alone. Each one walks out with decades of expertise that was never documented. Fortune 500 companies lose $31 billion annually to this knowledge drain. Most AI tools search what has already been documented, but 80% of critical knowledge was never written down. There is nothing to search. At Sensay, we start with the expert, not the docs. We extract what they know and turn into knowledge your team can actually use. So, how do we capture the knowledge? Through Sophia, our AI interviewer. She conducts natural voice conversations with departing experts. Powered by WebRTC for ultra-low latency, our custom backend allows intelligent turn-taking. It feels like a real conversation. The user controls the pace, takes the time to think, and moves on when ready. If an answer is too brief, Sophia digs deeper. And soon users will be able to upload files and let Sophia draft responses for them to just refine. We are turning the knowledge that never gets documented into structured, searchable expertise in real time. Once we have the raw text, we process it, we chunk it intelligently so every piece retains its original meaning. And next in our roadmap, there will be automated cleaning to remove filler words, false starts, and verbal noise while preserving the expert's intent. Our pipeline handles over 100 languages natively, captures expertise in English, and you can query it in Spanish, German, Swedish. Knowledge transfer without language barriers. Critically, your data stays yours. We never use it to train models or for any commercial purposes. We process it solely to make it useful to your team. And coming soon, we are going to enable enterprise customers to deploy on their own Azure instances, so their data stays fully in their environment. We are building for enterprise trust. We are well into certification process for the SOC 2 GDPR, ISO 27001, ISO 42001, total isolation, total security. So, how does your team access this knowledge? Well, through Slack or Teams, the native tools they use every day. We ground every answer into the company's real knowledge, then route it to the best frontier model for the job, Claude, ChatGPT, or Gemini. And here what we are building next. We are creating a full transparency. In the admin interface, managers will be able to see every step, from the original recording to the raw transcript to the cleaned up version, and exactly how it was used to generate the answers for the team. No black box. You're not querying a document, you are querying the experience of your best people with a complete audit trail from voice to answer. That's Sensay, knowledge that doesn't leave you when your people do. Shane.
Thank you, Marco. And is this thing on? There we go. Thank you, Marco, and thanks everybody for joining us today. So I know a lot of it has been covered already, but I do want to start with a quick story because it frames what's quietly happening inside most companies right now. So years ago, a Ford factory shut down and their generator failed. The production stopped, their best engineers couldn't fix it, and eventually they called a retired expert. His name was Charles Steinmetz. So Steinmetz comes in, he didn't rush, he listens to the machine, he takes his time, he climbs up a ladder, he made a single chalk mark on a metal plate and he said, replace it here. So they did, the machine worked immediately. Later, Ford sends a bill for $10,000, or he sends a bill to Ford for $10,000. They ask for the breakdown, and he says $1 for the check mark, $9,999 for knowing where to put it. So that's what most companies underestimate. Today, organizations are actually very good at saving the chalk marks, your files, your wikis, your SharePoints, your recordings. What you're really bad at, or what they're bad at, is keeping the knowing. Think about your company. You have all your documentation, that's useful, but it's not wisdom. What's missing is the context. It's the intuition, the reasons behind the decisions, the things that people learn after years in the role. So that's why NASA couldn't rebuild the Saturn V rocket today. They have the plans, they lost the people. Every time a senior expert leaves your company, something similar happens. You don't just lose a headcount. You lose their laptop, or you keep their laptop and you lose their mind. So that's the problem that Sensay was built to solve. We don't store the documents. We capture how the people think. We preserve the reasoning, the judgment, the mental shortcuts. That's that only experience creates, and we make sure the knowledge is usable after someone's gone. So where's this showing up right now? And we launched the product back a couple months ago, and it's based on years or the last year of feedback. So the consistency in the conversations right now, the first is offboarding. So someone gives notice, somebody gives notice, and you sit down with an HR manager, and you're going to talk to them about how you feel, but they sit down with someone that has decades of experience, and they say, okay, what do you know? Well, where do you start? We've got that expert-led interview that is going to dive down that technical expertise and be able to capture that. The next thing is training. So new hires, they don't struggle because they're incapable. They struggle because they don't want to ask basic questions. And your senior members may be strapped for time. So Sensay gives them a safe place to learn, explore, and get unstuck without slowing anybody down. Big one that it has been surfacing recently is mergers and acquisitions. So when you buy a company you can buy a company for its people and that expertise, but during that transition process, people can leave, and the value and a certain amount of value disappears. So we're able to capture that knowledge immediately, so the real value of the acquisition survives the transition. The fourth is extended leave, so parental leave, sabbaticals, long absences. This way your colleague isn't going to be bugging you when you're sitting on the beach and you're trying to avoid any sort of phone calls. So normally trying to preserve knowledge like this is expensive. Consultants cost thousands of dollars a day, and replacing senior talent costs more than companies really expect. Our model is simple. We charge $500 per knowledge base, so per head of expertise, and for that you're capturing years and sometimes decades of hard-won experience, and you're protecting the part of the business that doesn't show up with the balance sheet, but absolutely drives the outcomes. So people will move on, and that's normal. But what doesn't need to leave with them is what they know and how they do it. I think that's everything from me.
Thank you, guys. And for everyone watching, I'm so sorry for any technical difficulties. It would not be a Sensay showcase without some kind of problem. Some better than others. Now that you guys have all seen the full offboarding journey in action, I want to just take a moment to talk about where Sensay is heading next. What you have just watched is not the final destination at all. It's the foundation for something much, much, much larger. Across every industry we speak to, the message is the same. Companies cannot afford to lose knowledge anymore. They cannot afford long onboarding cycles, operational delays, or years of experience that disappears the moment that someone retires or moves on. This is why offboarding has become one of the largest unsolved problems in modern work, and it is why Sensay is focused entirely on fixing it. Looking ahead into 2026, our goal is simple. We want to become the leading platform for knowledge transfer across the entire enterprise sector. To do that, we're executing a clear and focused roadmap. We are strengthening our integrations with Teams, Slack, HRIS platforms, and learning systems. We're preparing for enterprise level compliance, and we're building the next generation of Sensay knowledge bases that will be faster, smarter, and even easier for teams to adopt. We're also moving towards automated knowledge capture. This means the system will not only gather information during offboarding, but will update itself continuously as people work, share files, and make decisions for you. Knowledge will no longer rely on memory. It will live inside your company and evolve as the organization evolves. Our long-term vision is even larger. The more knowledge bases we create, the stronger the ecosystem becomes. Each deployment adds to a growing network of expertise. Over time, we advance from simple knowledge transfer into creating digital versions of experts that can mentor, guide, and support teams anywhere in the world. We have a clear path to scale. We aim to reach 1,000 customers by the end of 2027 and expand across new regions and into new industries, including healthcare, finance, government, and advanced manufacturing. These are the sectors facing the greatest knowledge loss, and they are actively searching for solutions like ours. Everything you've seen is a much bigger movement. Companies want to preserve what they know. They want to onboard new talent and faster. They want to reduce errors and protect continuity. Sensay is here to make all of that possible. So as we look ahead, you can expect rapid product updates, new features, new partnerships, and a growing community of organizations using Sensay to secure their most valuable asset, which is their knowledge. We're excited for what comes next, and we're grateful to have all of you on this journey with us. For now, we're going to, just before we jump into some Q&A, we are going to talk, just to describe how we can actually participate in today's Christmas airdrop. So I think we're going to bring something up on screen. So to get the Christmas reward and Christmas presents, as you would, scan the QR code that should be on the screen now. And this will give you just a few minutes to participate for the next few minutes in our Christmas giveaway by post something quickly on, we've got 10 minutes. 10 minutes and a little bit to follow the instructions on the QR code, and that will help you to become eligible for the Christmas prize that we have today. So please give that a second to scan. And also for anyone who's watching, maybe not live, definitely check out sensay.io to check out what we can do for yourselves, for your companies, for your friends, family, or anyone else who's looking towards retirement or has a large sabbatical or maternity leave coming up. We're working on some incentives and referrals and affiliate schemes to help you earn while we help to build Sensay as a company overall. Okay. For now, we're going to bring back Marco and Shane, and then we can start digging into some of the questions from today. So guys, if you are watching on LinkedIn, Twitter, or YouTube, if you leave any comments and questions in the comment section of this particular video, we will be able to bring up some of the some of the best questions. So we'll give it a couple more minutes just to let the reward stay up, and also we'll give a bit of time for some extra questions to come through. We've got quite a few coming through already. But yeah, guys, I mean, what are you both most excited for in the new year? Let's start with Shane.
What are we most excited for the new year? So we run. Obviously, on my desk, there's sales and business development and partnerships. Around this time of year, there are less people that are willing to start that process. So we've got a large amount. I mean, it's a little daunting with how many conversations we got lined up for January to really kickstart that process. But I'm looking forward to the ramp up. So January is going to be, it's going to be a big month for us. And there's a lot coming down the pipe from both partnerships and sales opportunities.
Sorry, that was me.
I can't hear you.
Music there a bit. No, and what have been some of the, I guess, most exciting conversations you've had so far with some of the customers that have already signed up?
I mean, there are the majority of the conversations that we have are under NDA. So there's nothing that we can really explicitly say on the call. Overall, the momentum has been really good. So there's a couple there's a couple of different types of ways that you can use the technology. One of them is going to be for offboarding. That's what we heavily market towards, right? It's the offboarding, the retirees, everything like that. That's an immediate problem. But there are other companies that are using our looking at our tech and saying, well, we can continuously train these knowledge bases for additional staff within our team. So there are people that are now piloting our tech with like 15 people, 15 members of their team, and if 2 of them are going to work out well, then they're going to roll it out to their entire team for continuous training. So that if you're sitting in a seat in a remote work, they've got offices across the world. Instead of waiting for somebody to respond 7 hours later, you can actually just ping their knowledge base and get an immediate response. So that is one way of using it. The other one is for the retirements, and it's interesting to know like how they would actually want to use it. So the continuous training is really looking forward to the AI conversations with the retirement. They do look at that as well, but they also want to be able to restructure that tacit knowledge into documentation. So we're finding that there are different ways of using the tech. It is quite interesting, and we're talking to companies that are small to medium size, and I think that's going to be our bread and butter. But there are large enterprises that are coming to us as well with the immediate problem of people leaving.
Yeah, for sure. No, we saw a huge amount of response just from being there at Web Summit and all the different companies. Everyone from small teams to multinational corporations that were super interested in what we're doing with this. And Marcus, same question. What are you excited for in the new year?
I mean, fundamentally, I love building software, and with the pilot programs, we are getting so many good ideas and a lot of feedback on what customers need and want. So that's super exciting for me. I think next year building all the enterprise features to power that kind of B2B segment, I think for me is going to be the most challenging, but probably the most rewarding part of next year. So being able to service these customers which really are focused on the privacy of their data, and figuring out maybe interesting encryption mechanisms and so on, so that their data can stay safe and their data can be private for them.
And which are one of the biggest features that will be developed soon because of the customer initial feedback?
Well, the one I'm really looking forward is the part around creating as much transparency as possible end to end. I talked about it in my segment. So you can have full transparency from being able to see and listen to the recording, how the data was transcribed, how it was cleaned up, and then how that data is used to make the knowledge available to the team members. And so you can have a full end-to-end transparency on the intelligence that we are generating for the companies. I think that will be super powerful and integrated directly in all the tools that the companies currently use, like Slack and Teams. So I think it's going to be a great user experience. And we have some customers that want to be able to update this knowledge directly from those systems. So that makes it a super available and up-to-date knowledge that the team can use. So I find that super exciting.
Awesome. Yeah, me too. All right, I think we've had quite a few questions coming through, so maybe we can start pulling up some of the questions and comments for the guys. All right. What built to replace or state HR where possible, and also when browsing? A couple of good questions. I guess I'll take the first one. Mark, I can take the second one. So Sophia wasn't built to replace HR at all. It's a fantastic tool that HR can. Can you go? Can you hear me? Or am I having problems again?
Ish.
I guess someone else will have to take it then.
Okay, I can take the first part of this. So Sophia wasn't built to replace HR. HR is still involved in the process. It's really actually there to assist HR. The HR manager can act as the administrator, and they set up the knowledge bases, but and they still want to have that offboarding interview with somebody, because there's still more meaningful questions that you can ask about how they feel about the environment, how is the company culture, everything like that. But the experience and the tacit knowledge that you get within a role, within your tenure in a role, that's what we're really looking to capture with Sophia, is capturing that expertise and that deep dive into that expertise on how you're able to perceive a processing manual, how the kick of the manufacturing line, being able to preserve those chalk lines. That is what Sophia is really built to preserve, so that it's a layer on top of your company documentation already. The browser extension, Marco.
Yeah, well, the product runs in the browser now. We don't have a clear requirement for the user to have like a browser extension on top. But we actually had some experiments in the company for a browser extension to help in capturing the knowledge that you are then presenting to Sophia. So it's something that we looked into, but we still don't have a clear message from the customers that they need it.
Hopefully this is working again. Yeah, the browser extension would be great as soon as we actually have the ability to capture, I guess, two different forms. One is, browser extension to be able to capture the knowledge as someone's working, for a knowledge worker, for example. And also we get a few requests around more manual labor, around being able to process videos and understand what the person's doing to be able to capture that and reproduce that in a useful format on the output. Just before we go to the next question, just a reminder for anyone who is participating in today's rewards, make sure that you are actually tweeting when you scan the QR code, make sure you actually do send a tweet. If you are just sending a text message, that's not going to, or replying to a tweet is not actually going to reward any prizes today. So please make sure you actually follow the instructions correctly and send tweets to get the prizes. Okay, next question. Are there companies that we specifically hope to work with next year? Shane?
Companies that we hope to specifically work with. We're mainly marketing out to North America right now. We're getting a lot of interest in the UK and Europe, especially the fact that we rolled the product out in Portugal. So a lot of our early interest was from the EU, but we're really pushing towards North America. The reason being, and small to medium sized businesses. The reason being is there is a huge overlap with the amount of systems, where the types of systems that they're using. So consistency is around Microsoft and using Azure and Teams. So we want to limit the amount of connections that we're going to be building towards, so that we can create them quite quickly and then make them much more robust, as opposed to trying to do too many things at one time. So I know that doesn't specifically answer your question about exact companies, but we're looking at mature industries right now within North America. So we're looking for that overlap in existing systems, so that we can build fast, we can build robust, and then we can build enterprise, to what to Marco was saying as well. So we're able to service things within their cloud environment. Data never shifts hands, and then we're capturing the larger B2B market there.
Yeah, there's some really interesting statistics around this as well, aren't there? So things like, something like there was a manufacturing one in the US. 25% of people who work in manufacturing are over the age of 55.
Yeah. So and then in the energy sector, there's over 50%. So the retirement wave is huge in the US. So we've based a lot of our research and statistics around the US markets. So same thing with like manufacturing, energy, consulting, engineering, telecom. All of them are maturing at such a rapid rate that they're feeling the pressure of the not the retirements alone, but also the stress on the senior staff. So this is a generational challenge. You've got people that were working for decades for a gold watch and a pension, and the company becomes part of their identity. With the new generation that's coming in, millennials and Gen Zs, we reinvent ourselves every couple of years. So you don't actually have that same level of experience through different iterations of the product and the different iterations of the company. So there's a lot of talent that is about to be lost, and people feel the pressure. And we're getting that from all types of companies and sectors.
For sure. All right, let's bring up another question. I think we've got time for a couple more. Why did you name it Sophia instead of Soph AI? It's actually very clever. So Sophia as a name was actually one of my ideas. Sophia is a name that basically comes from the ancient Greek word sophos, which is love of knowledge. And so Sophia seemed as like an appropriate name to have as a helpful, friendly chatbot that there is to capture and process the knowledge. So Sophia, Soph AI is quite funny. Maybe next time. But thanks for that one. Okay, another quick one. What's one thing companies still underestimate about AI-powered knowledge transfer, and how should they rethink it in 2026? Marco, you want to take this one?
Yeah. So I think I think we are at a turning point with the AI technologies. So we have this big wave of people retiring at the same time where the AI technology is getting good enough to be useful for that. So that's why we want to be ahead of the game on this. You can see, new versions of LLM models are coming out all the time, and also we have our partially custom, partially industry standard through WebRTC, low latency, real-time voice conversation. Stuff like this was not possible until a few years ago, right? So, like, we are kind of a converging point between, I think, people retiring in the industry and people moving on much faster compared to the past, where people would be 10, 20, 30 years in a business, and the AI technology being capable of doing something that was completely not possible until very recently. So, we are quite on the forefront of this.
So
Okay.
let me just want to add on that, and I get a lot of pushback about this. Is just people saying that we're okay with our existing systems, right? And so what happens when somebody leaves the company is you're either mentoring somebody for a certain amount of time, or you create a handover document, or you sit down with HR and then you build a static document that sits in a repository that nobody reads. And it, like the as is, we now have technology at our fingertips that can do it better than can do it better than we've historically been able to do it. So an AI led expert interview, you're sitting down with somebody that actually knows the types of questions to ask you about your role. So instead of just sitting there with someone that's not as experienced as you, to be able to ask the right questions and drill into the experience, like you need to be able to you need to be prompted to unlock different memories of what you actually know. If I sit down and ask you, okay, you've been with the company for 30 years, what do you know? you need to start somewhere more generically, and then it captures little elements along the way, and it dives deeper into that knowledge. So it prompts your brain to open up different memories and different experiences. So we're good the way we are. Sure, you will be, but it will be a competitive advantage to be able to use AI-led interviews, to be able to capture this knowledge, to be able to use this in perpetuity and become a competitive advantage going forward.
Yeah, and I think well, there are statistics showing that people are more open with talking to AIs, and that's only going to get more and more as AI gets better and more advanced and friendlier. People don't have the same inhibitions they have when talking to an HR manager, the same reservations, the same concerns that there's someone judging them. The AI is there to be that friendly helper and just focus on the knowledge, no sort of ulterior motive, no backhanded sort of reason. It's just there to talk to you as if, instead of having an HR manager interviewing a software engineer and asking them about their job and the specifics of their job, you actually have a AI that can be trained like a software engineer that can interview the software engineer. So you actually get the really specific questions and the right knowledge out of their head otherwise would just be completely lost. And shadowing and training can be expensive. On ramping of new employees can take 6 to 18 months. So anything that can actually help to speed this along is a massive improvement. And that's the power of AI. And that's before we even talk about people who are retiring after with decades of experience, as Shane said, that have, that maybe even type like this. I mean, I visited a doctor a few months ago, and she was incredibly smart, but her typing skills were finger by finger, super slow. But talk to her about anything, and she'd be able to tell you any medical fact. So it's that kind of knowledge that they have that's just there in their head, that having an AI voice-to-voice conversation available to them means that you can get that tacit knowledge out of their head, you can get that understanding, and you can pass it on to a younger generation who are more likely to interact with AI to learn and actually, just for using AI for their internal and external searches. So that's the real, differentiator where AI can step in and make such a big difference into knowledge capture and transfer. All right, I think one, maybe two questions if there's a good one. What have we got? There's one coming up. Or maybe we're having more technical difficulties. Okay. How does Sensay use AI replicas preserve human knowledge? So we've actually stepped a little bit away from replicas and on the knowledge. Taking what we were forced bringing out the voice, the image, the style, and footage. So taking that sort of understanding, the experience, the wisdom, and basically, only have a part of that, because as we were talking about digital replicas of people, not everyone are comfortable with the idea of a version of still company. So focusing on the knowledge really does just help. But using AI as a solution, as we were just talking about, as a way of capturing, focusing on specifically and capturing that, finding it with explicit knowledge to make it come forward. So you have kind of knowledge base inside the actually becomes really useful at preserving that. So it's the knowledge that typically would have been lost otherwise with the system actually stays in the company and is useful for the company for as long as it's around. So yeah, that's how we've gone into quite a lot of detail earlier on the product and how that kind of all works and looks. So that should probably answer that kind of question. All right, I think we probably have time for one last little question, which is mostly to you guys. What are you doing for Christmas and New Year? Start with Marco.
I think mostly working. We have so much work to do. I honestly don't have currently plans, but I will be at home with my family in any case. So it's gonna be lovely Christmas time here in Italy. Hence my already Christmas decorations on my back.
That sounds nice. And Shane?
Well, I've made a. I'm currently on the Pacific West Coast, so I'm coming up on 7 a.m. right now. So I'm spending a lot of early mornings on phone calls. But I will be cold plunging over the Christmas break, get reacquainted with the cold, given the fact that I spend the majority of my year in heat, and then I will not be doing anything on New Year's, just transiting down to a warmer destination, spending time with
Very
family.
cool. Very nice. Myself, I'm currently in Paraguay. I have to be in Brazil in January. I still haven't quite entirely decided what we're going to do for Christmas and New Year's just yet, but probably something a bit more that around here, so we don't have to travel too far. Because, as Marcus said, there's lots of things to do and lots to get done. But yeah, guys, thank you for answering the questions. I think we'll have a quick wrap up then. All right. Thanks for everyone who's sent in responses. We've had over 100 responses on the response form. Thanks for sending in the tweets, and we'll be issuing prizes in the next few weeks for today, once we've verified and checked all the ones that are legitimate and not duplicates. So thank you for that. And thank you for everyone joining us today. I hope the showcase gave everyone a clear picture of what Sensay is building and why this work matters so much. Knowledge is the most valuable asset inside any organization, and today you saw how we can preserve it, protect it, and make it available for every team member long after someone leaves. I want to thank our team for the enormous amount of work that went into bringing this platform to life, and I want to thank all of you for your continued support, your feedback, and the excitement you bring to this journey. As we move into the new year, our focus remains crystal clear and simple. We'll continue to improve the product, expanding our partnerships, and helping companies all over the world keep their knowledge alive. From all of us at Sensay, have a wonderful Christmas season, enjoy the holidays, and we look forward to seeing you all in the new year. Thanks so much.
Don't let the wisdom walk out the door. The team is gathering around the screen. The best offboarding you've ever seen. John is leaving, retiring today. But thanks to Sensay, his skills are gonna stay. We capture the workflows, the tips and the tricks. No more lost files for us to be. Knowledge transfer. Capture the wisdom around the clock. Voice to voice, just chat away. Preserve the genius with Sensay. It's the smart way, the new way to say what we know. That's the Sensay. Knowledge right. New hire Sally is starting at 1. She needs to know how the project is done. She doesn't need shadowing, wasting her time. She asks the chatbot and feels just fine. From day number 1, she is up to speed. A digital mentor is all that she needs. Knowledge transfer, transfer rock. Capture the wisdom around the clock. Voice to voice, just chat away. Preserve the genius with Sensay. It's the smart way, the Capture the past for the future to see. That's the Sensay guarantee. Knowledge transfer, transfer rock, capture the